Black again. Cool. Alright, so we're definitely not getting 1700 today. Because I think this will be our last one, win or lose. Okay, so this is the variant that we hate playing against. Very aggressive choices here, but I guess we'll be okay with it. And again, we're sacrificing against the knight. Because we hate this knight more than we hate anything else in the world. Just do the sacrifice immediately. Queen takes, maybe? Queen does take. Okay, so we bring the knight out here, I think, first. Maybe this knight. I mean, we bring this knight out, the pin's gonna happen. Either way. So maybe we just do pawn up. My cat is up to mischief. Let's do knight out. Let's do that. This is gonna come down. This up. I mean, I have to imagine this is going to come out, otherwise we have knight takes, queen has to move, knight takes pawn, which is very bad for him. Yeah, okay. So I guess the question is, do we just kick him out right away? Force him to do his own trade? We might be okay with that, rather than sitting here obnoxiously. Sure, why not? Get some extra defense on that pawn with this. My opponent left the game. Alright. I guess he must have had something happen. I'm gonna go check on my cat, because she's doing something. Oh, he's back. Alright, I'm still gonna go check on my cat. Never mind. Okay, so he just slides back. We can now do this pawn up, just completely shut him out. Seems fine. Maybe what he's thinking is that we do this, he goes back to guard this pawn. But, you know, we can recoup that. So let's just do this. He goes back here. We do this up to guard. Maybe now he castles. Yeah. Okay. We do knight takes this pawn because it's just sitting there. Maybe he moves his queen here. Moves his queen here. We do like dark squared bishop out. He moves his own dark squared bishop out. Drop the knight back. Maybe, but then we just lose the dark squared bishop, so that's not a good idea. So, oh, queen actually goes all the way back. Okay. So we could do dark squared bishop out. He'll do his own dark squared bishop out. So none of that is a good idea. So maybe just run the knight. That could be fine. Like slide him over here. That seems reasonable. Yeah, let's just do... Doing this is probably fine. Maybe they'll do rook over to stop the takes here. At which point either knight out or bishop out is fine. I think knight out is better. Because then we're putting more cover on that square. Yeah, okay. So we can do bishop out to block, or we can do knight out to cover. I think knight out is fine. His next move is then probably dark squared bishop down, at which point we just do dark squared bishop up. Maybe not. Maybe dark squared bishop first is correct. Because if we go the other way, if we go here, 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 he can do takes, takes, and then the dominoes happen. Whereas if we do it the reverse, where we have the dark squared bishop blocking first, that gives us one extra move. Because now he can't bring his bishop... Well, I suppose he could. He could just throw the bishop away. Which would be interesting. Okay, he develops his knight. The knight's probably going there. Can't really go anywhere else. So now we bring our own knight out. And we're one move away from castling. Yeah, so his knight comes here. Both of these squares are technically vulnerable. Well, not even technically, they are vulnerable. So... I mean, we could move here, but that doesn't really do much for us. I think I'm fine just castling. If he wants to be dramatic, he can be dramatic. Let's just castle. So he can put his knight here or here. Maybe we move our queen up. No, that doesn't work. Maybe we move our bishop up. But if he's here, he's probably going here. So we could do like queen over. Okay, so now he does the dramatic bishop movement. Where are we going now? We could do knight here. Threatens this, forces him to take here, protected by this pawn. Not that the rook would take the knight. I mean, maybe he would. What happens? We do knight up. Rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, rook takes, and then bishop takes. So we have to take with this rook. And he'd be getting 2 minor pieces and a queen for a rook and a queen. And it would be rook, rook, knight against rook, bishop, knight, bishop? You know, I'm fine with seeing if he does that. Let's see how that game goes if he does that. So let's go here. He just takes with the bishop. Okay. So I guess the only question is, do we take with the knight or do we take with the queen? Taking with the queen takes one defender off of this square. So that means that bishop, pawn, queen. So taking with the knight I think makes more sense. So let's do that. So now we still have 2 defenders on this piece. This knight can't go here, can still go there. But now I think that queen up, if knight goes here, is fine. Because we have this knight covering that square. So this knight takes was definitely the right move. I'm 99% sure about that. That's not much of a threat unless he's bringing this rook over. So what do we want to do here? If we anticipate that the rook is coming over, we could do something like queen here, taking away the only safe square for the knight, and also maybe threatening something here. We could also do rook over because we maybe want to push these pawns up and trap his light squared bishop. We could threaten something scary with like queen here if the queen ever moves. While also covering these pawns for when we push them. Queen here might be a little too open, though. Nah, let's do it. Let's do queen here. Maybe he does, like, this up. I could see this up being a reasonable move. Gotta find something to do with this knight. I like this knight, though. This knight's in a nice defensive place. Stops basically whatever hijinks this guy's thinking. I mean, maybe he's thinking, because he can't go here because of this. And if he goes here, this is guarding everything else that he could try to infiltrate with, not to mention the queen. I really feel like a nice move for him would be something like this up one, slide his bishop back, because then he's got a lot of targets coming down over here. I mean, then we can do something like maybe knight back. Okay, so he just slides that rook over, which is what we kind of expected. So I still don't see him pulling the trigger being that much of a problem for us just yet. But there is a lot of firepower coming. Let's do this up. We were thinking about that. I mean, does he do something like rook here? What happens if he does rook there? Do we maybe, like, push this pawn up? I mean, rook there isn't any bigger threat than rook here was, though. Unless he really wants to sacrifice all these pieces to start his attack. We don't want to do this because knight just takes it. So, pawn up, I guess. I still have a feeling he's going to do this. But there's no great way to stop that. we maybe move the knight? Like, move knight here? Maybe that's better. The knight is kind of in a strong spot, though, right? Because, I mean, like, knight can come in here, then, and we're in a little bit of trouble. Okay, let's pop this up, maybe. Let's do this. Stopping this, anticipating the knight may die. Okay, so the knight slips in now. But every square he could go to is covered by here. This does open the queen up, though. Maybe we sneak the knight back? Our knight back? No, I don't think so. I think we leave the knight there. I think we start pushing this pawn up. Because again, if this queen moves at all, white's in trouble. I'm pretty sure. Because we got queen in check. Go from there. So let's just see what happens here. Let's do this. Expecting like maybe queen. Oh, that was a good sneak. I missed that one. Wow, how blind am I? Ah, what an idiot. Okay. Damn fool. KenosDamnFool.com. Tell your friends. Shit. Okay, danger levels. What's worth more than a queen and a rook? A king. Queen in check. Queen takes. Knight takes. Yeah, I know. Alright. Okay. And now we do rook over here. Like that. Knight jumps back, that's fine. Pawn up traps the bishop. So maybe a bishop sacrifice here to make this pawn in the center weak. And then making the knight vulnerable. Yep. So do we do let's do a trade of rooks here also. Unless he doesn't want a rook trade, which is good for us also. He doesn't want to trade a rooks, okay. Rook over on the knight, I guess? Maybe that was a mistake. Okay, king runs. If he doesn't want rook trade now, I want rook trade later. Maybe he'll bring his knight in here now, because he's got a double threat, sort of. I mean, we could do here. I guess he does that, actually. Knight, rook is under attack. We can't miss that. So maybe we do rook over, which isn't much of a threat. Because we're not taking that, yeah. So let's do this. If I was him, I'd probably do that one, but either way, the knight's hitting something. Maybe he does like this up. Oh, he does that over. Now he wants a trade. Okay, fine. Might go in here. Okay, that's interesting. Check. That was a bad move also, because now we got this. Alright, now we just have to walk the king over. His king's not getting anywhere. We're letting him take here because we can take here. I mean, hell, we can even do this now. Yeah, and we're basically fine now. Rook can literally just sit here. I'm gonna send... Yep. Alright. Cool. Alright, so obviously he screwed up with that fork, but we screwed up with the other fork. So, it trades both directions. Alright, that's a fine game to end on, I think. Been streaming for over almost 2.5 hours, especially once we're done talking about this game. Excuse me. But yeah, we seem to be stuck in like the 1680, 1695 range. Alright. 2 blunders from him. So far, 2 blunders from me. Okay. But we made 2 less mistakes. So let's check this out. Bishop b5 was considered wrong. Wanted to do c3 instead. Yeah, reinforce this position. Bishop a4 is considered a mistake. He definitely should have taken there. I think maybe that was the one knight that actually came out after him. But yeah, we see kind of the position that they wanted. Okay. So our first inaccuracy is e6. They wanted knight takes d4. I mean, I guess... Okay, I guess we're in this situation we're okay with the queen trade. Maybe. I mean, okay, I was a little concerned about this, right? I was concerned about, well, yeah, because if bishop takes, queen takes knight, obviously. But I was concerned about, like, queen takes here. But then we do the check anyway, right? Check, king has to move, then we do the queen trade, and we even, like, we see the long castle, we even move the rook. Because this rook is stuck forever. So, yeah, we shouldn't have been as scared as we were of this. We should have been a little more aggressive, kept the tempo up, but whatever. And once again, they wanted more reinforcements on this pawn because obviously I was doing this. Knight f5 was considered wrong. They wanted bishop c5. Okay, so we were looking at this. We were concerned about this coming in. What happens when this happens? They have knight takes bishop anyway. Pawn takes. Bishop takes. Pawn takes. And I mean, I get they say we're still better. I don't know, it scared me a little bit there. But we were looking at knight c5. I like when the computer tells us that we were on the right track mentally. And again, c3, just trade, whatever. Okay. So rook e1 we saw coming. And this was correct. Let's actually look at this here. So we're at minus 1.6 right now. If I bring the knight out first, we lose a whole point. We're actually saying g4 is best there. But like what happens here? And that goes back the other way. Okay. So it was back and forth both directions there. This is actually considered good for white. They want us to get the bishop c5 out anyway. But I mean, what happened? Hang on, let's play this out real quick. If we do this, queen takes, bishop takes, and then we just don't care and we long castle, because then we're pinning the queen to the bishop. Sure. So we do this. They want like queen f3. But you could maybe argue something like knight out. But then the pawn just takes and whatever. Yeah. So that sequence, again, we weren't thinking as clearly as we should have. But still no horrible blunders yet. We just were being a little too passive. Right? So whatever. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Did not like knight e4. They wanted bishop c5 instead. Again, it just kept wanting us to get this bishop out. I'm not entirely sure what this is threatening, though. It says queen e2 is the next move, but let's say queen does something random like this. Queen b6. Oh, we're just setting up firing lines. Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, if we do here, I mean, what happens if this happens? I mean, this is kind of... We actually don't care about that. We just go in with the check. Nice. That's fun. Okay. So yeah, bishop takes. What happens if queen takes? Let's watch the point score again. Or what happens? Yeah, we have this wants queen takes. This actually wants queen takes. Interesting. So we do queen takes. What was the reason that we were so... We were worried about takes. Oh, they actually want the knight sacrifice at that point. Yeah, they want the knight sacrifice because otherwise, if we didn't do that and we did takes, queen comes in. And they want the f to d6 to have them cover each other. So yeah, that's kind of rough. But they actually preferred queen taking there, which is interesting. I still like the knight taking. But alright, moving on, moving on. Here comes the blunders. Alright. a5. They want queen c7 instead. Because queen c7, right. This is why it was the first blunder, because we had this. If we had slid back with queen c7, we were threatening the knight. And also just existing, right? But I mean, if we do queen c7, yeah, if we do queen c7, theoretically, like, the queen could come in and take there. But But then we also have that. Yeah. So queen c7 was obviously better. But then we do this, which is the best move. And all's well in the world until he does this. They wanted that instead. Which we sort of saw coming. But, you know, we could have just then done... They actually wanted rook up here. I don't know if I would have done that. I might have gone rook over. But, what's the difference between rook up and rook over? 2 points? Alright. So I wanted this. That is surprising. But I guess fair enough. They saw the trap coming. And you do knight takes, because if you don't do knight takes and just do pawn takes, you lose the knight. Okay, but instead he goes here, which is a momentum loss, and also makes his bishop useless. So we see that happen. They wanted a3, because our knight was eventually going to land there. Okay, and then the last blunder we did was rook f4, with 30 seconds left. They wanted rook g5 instead. And rook g5, knight goes back, rook g6. Rook just kind of slides in, you know, we're just doing our thing. Maybe because we're angling for, like, knight here. So just a lot of back and forth here. Finally, rook comes back up. Knight goes back, rook comes over. That's interesting. I've got doubled up rooks, I guess. Interesting. Alright, so that was considered a mistake. We do lose the pawn. This is also considered wrong. They wanted b4. I mean, b4 is fine. The knight's gonna move. Why b3, a b3? I mean, I guess... Yeah. I might have just taken the knight. Like, if we take the knight... Well, I guess then the reinforced pawn thing comes and there's the fork there. So we have to take this first so that this can't come down. Fair enough. Alright. So rook f1 was wrong. We do the trade. Blunders here because it completely misses that it needed to go there to stop the knight from coming in, which was our whole big thing. That's the only reason why we took this one instead of this one. Yeah. But he misses that. And this is even worse for him now, as we see, because now everything's lined up as well. This was the worst move he could have done. And he did it. Because then knight takes, king takes. I actually wonder. Yeah, king takes is not the best move here. They want you to get the knight out. Save the knight. Save the dream. You need to have a piece that can interfere with whatever black's plans are. But he takes. We go over. And that's that. There's nothing left to say at that point. And again, the computer gives up. Maybe back here, when he did G5, maybe we shouldn't have left this. Actually, no, we didn't leave it because we took later. But I mean, it's possible that us taking might have been better. Yeah, the points swing up a lot more than when we just did king d8. He does h5. We get the rook into a slightly better position. I might have actually just gone up here, gone to d6 or d4. King goes down here. They want rook b4. Okay, I can see that. But, you know, I might have just put a pin in it. And done like rook here, maybe. King d3 is heading over this direction. Take h5. King c4. Rook h2. King c3. And then we just start pushing. And I mean, that's the end. And that's why he resigned.